What difference can you make if you are a replica of somebody? What difference can you make? Hey, my name is Cassandra, and I am in my bed, and I've decided to finally do this. This is kind of awkward because I have never done this before, and I'm recording through my phone and my headphones, and that's why you see me doing this. And I don't really know what to say. I literally just felt that I had to do this. I felt the calling to do this, and you know, when it comes to God and callings, sometimes it really just doesn't make sense at the start. Only when you've gone through it, then you realize that it really makes sense. And yeah, I don't know why I had this word. It's dreamer. I am a dreamer myself. And another thing that came to my mind was like, a lot of people misunderstand dreamers because dreamers dream. Dreamers dream. They dream about things that might not exist at this point in time. And that's why it's against common sense, and that's why a lot of people don't understand dreamers. So I felt that I really wanted to share my life story today as a dreamer, and I hope it will be an encouragement to all the dreamers out there. So I hope you can resonate with the story and feel like, hey man, you're not alone. So I think when I was young, it's pretty obvious that I was a dreamer. Like, I would have a lot of imagination. I could literally play a board game by myself and pretend to like be different people as I was playing the board game myself. So I would play Monopoly by myself, and I'll literally be 4 different kinds of people, and I would already decide who the winner would be, and I'll play out the scene. So that was how imaginative I was. And I don't know, I just like to dream about the future. I like to dream about many different things that I would do in the future. I was always very future oriented. I loved to imagine what the future would hold. I love futuristic things. I loved imagining how my life would be like as an adult. Even when I was in secondary school, where I had to write like journals and whatnot, I would write about what I would want to become. I wanted to be a journalist. I wanted to be a surgeon. And then after that, I did not want to be a surgeon because like, I can't stand blood. Really? I can't stand blood. I just really cannot stand blood. So since young, I've been very imaginative. I like to draw. I love to draw Archie comics. I love to draw anime. It's not called anime. I loved to draw manga, but I didn't know it was called manga. I was very into like slam dunk, and I tried to like imitate the drawings to no avail, but it's okay. I will continue to practice. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is, I was very imaginative. I said that like a million times, and I guess I was always disappointed because as a dreamer, I never fit in. I was not hated. I mean, I was bullied in primary school, but I was not hated. I don't think I was ever hated. Okay, if you ever hated me in primary school or secondary school, please PM me and I will change my story. But I don't think I was ever hated. but I never really felt like I fit in. It bummed me out because I always felt like, was there something wrong with me? Did I do anything bad? Did I do anything harmful or strange? And I was always trying so hard to fit in. Like, always trying so hard. I would deny myself. I would like literally give up on my needs, give up on my wants just to please people so that they would like me, so that they would think that I am something. But the irony about pleasing people is that it always is the opposite. Because when you are trying so hard to please people, you are not yourself. You are really not yourself, and when you are not yourself, high chance people can kind of sense it. Even if it's not the most obvious, people can still sense. And I'm not sure why, but as human beings, we just really we're not really drawn to people who are not their authentic selves. And that was the same for me. I guess I was always like trying so hard to be somebody I was not, that I wasn't allowing other people the chance to truly get to know me, to truly get to know all my strengths, all my weaknesses, all my quirks, because I always felt it was too much. As a dreamer, I just always felt like because people didn't understand and because I didn't fit in, that it was always too much for people to handle. And I'm not gonna lie, like there are many days that I still struggle with this at this point in time, even though it has gotten like so much better. But yeah, so throughout life, I just always felt like I didn't fit in. And I was kind of sad. I was really, really sad as a kid, especially as a teenager, because you don't want to seem out of place. You don't want to be an outcast. You don't want to like look like you have no friends, because rejection is embarrassing. It is so embarrassing. And all throughout life, even though nobody really hated me, I felt rejected. I felt like I was stifled all the time because there was no environment for me to dream. I felt like I wasn't really very encouraged to dream anywhere, because people would tell me that, oh, it's too far out, it's too impractical, it's too blah 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 blah. I think as the years went by, I was more well equipped to blend in with the crowd. Somehow or rather, my powers of observation had trained me to kind of blend in with the crowd. So I would kind of know the social etiquettes. I would kind of know what to say or what to do, more or less, to kind of fit in, to blend in, more like not fit in. But I would always still feel like I did not fit in. And I don't know at what point in time I lost a lot of my imaginative powers. I didn't really lose it, but I think I used it more. It was not well utilized. I think I lost that childlikeness of being able to just dream and to just saw and to just, take out a piece of paper and just draw whatever I wanted. As a child, I could really imagine. I could really dream. I could really just put it into paper. And you know what? People around me, society, whatever you want to call it, will kind of affirm that, as you grow up, you have to lose your imagination. You have to lose your dreamy side. This society, this world is not for dreamers like yourself and myself. And it really, really discouraged me. But I also began to believe it. And what you believe, you become. So I kind of felt like I lost a better part of myself. Only after I went to Australia to study, and that was when I really had to reckon with who I was on the inside and who I was as a person. Because when I was put in an environment that didn't coddle me, that didn't allow me to hide behind social etiquettes or behind social norms that I already knew, who I was being tested. So in 2015, at 21 years old, now you know how old I am. At 21 years old, I went to Australia to study. I went to Monash University to study global studies. Okay, that's not the point. Just saying, just letting y'all know what I was studying. So when I went to Australia, I came in very, very Singaporean. I came in with a bubble, because all my life I was mostly just exposed to Singapore. I didn't really my relatives are from overseas, but most of my mindsets and most of my norms were formed by living in Singapore. So it's very different overseas. People have a different way of doing life. People have different norms. Going to Australia, I felt really out of place. Obviously, this was a country, a culture that was very different to mine. It was a very westernized society, and obviously in Singapore we are not super westernized, even though we have a lot of Western influences. So I was very out of place. I felt very out of place. I felt really, really out of place. It was like 20 plus years of all my socializing, of all my social norms were like rendered absolutely like useless. There was nothing I could really use to blend in. I tried really hard at first to blend in with the Aussie crowd. I thought I had to speak differently. I thought I had to behave like them. I thought being like that was a sign of respect, was a way of trying to communicate with them. And the funny thing is, the more I did it, I did get used to it. I really did get used to it, but obviously I wouldn't say at this point in time I am fully used to it, but I got pretty used to it. And being in a different environment, you kind of absorb the stuff. Yeah, you kind of absorb the culture, the way people speak, the way people do things, and I really liked it after a while. Not the point. The point is, I tried to hide again. I tried to hide behind like whatever social cues I could pick up to blend in, so that I would not seem weird, I would not seem strange, I would not seem out of place. I was afraid. I was afraid of being different. I was afraid of being out of place. Because being out of place, being different, to me has always been ubiquitous to rejection. And I didn't want to be rejected. I felt like one of my goals when I came to Australia was to really absorb the culture and to really understand the culture and to really enjoy the culture. So being rejected was like literally not part of my plan. But once again, I felt out of place. Like, people liked me, but I felt out of place. I felt like I didn't belong. Although part of me felt like I belonged, but still there was always this lingering feeling of not belonging. And even as I talk about this, I'm getting my own answers. There were a lot of question marks in my journey in Australia, but now I see that I was trying to hide again. I was trying to hide all my quirks. I was trying to hide my uniqueness. I was trying to hide a lot of parts of me that signal that I was a dreamer, that I had been made this way, and that I was forward looking, that I saw things very differently, because to me those were never strengths. Those were weaknesses. But at the same time, miraculously, when I was in Australia, I'm a Christian, so I believe in God. I believe Jesus died for my sins. But you don't have to switch this off just because I'm a Christian. But my faith really does inform a better part of my life. So at a point in time, I encountered God a lot in Australia, in my loneliness, in my insecurities. I really encountered God, and He just turned around the whole thing. He just really turned around everything, because now I was out of my comfort zone. I had no place to hide. I was fully exposed. I felt naked, and everything that I thought about myself was being challenged. So it was cray, guys. It was like freaking cray, because God took me out of my comfort zone and literally put me in a place that should have been my worst nightmare, because I did not belong to that place at all. I mean, I'm this like Singaporean kid. I don't belong at all. I did not stay where all the foreign kids were staying at. I was living with my aunt, and we would be like in the local suburbs. I went to a church that was like, I don't know, just everywhere I went to, it was supposed to be my worst nightmare, because I didn't belong. I didn't really hang out with a lot of Singaporean or Malaysian students, things that would make me feel like it's home again or like it's familiar. I was literally in a place where there was nothing I could hold on to except God. But that was one of the best things that ever happened to me, because He stripped me off of all these weird notions that I had of myself. He was like, girl, I created you. Why do you think you're weird? Why do you think you're bad? Why do you think that all your little quirks that I created about you is weird? Who told you that? He always asks me, who told you that? And that began a lot of the deconstruction of my thought patterns, of how I thought about myself, of how I thought about God, of how I thought about the world, how I thought about a lot of things. But today's video is just, I'm going to talk about being a dreamer. So there was a lot of deconstruction when it came to myself. I finally had to reckon with the fact that I was really, really made unique. I think everybody is made unique. Of course, there is no one copycat of anybody. But I think I was made to be that kind of person who dreams about something that isn't here yet, who can vision, who has vision, who is a visionary, who like just sees things so differently to a lot of people. And he really affirmed that in Australia. He showed me that I wasn't just a dreamer. I was a visionary. And when I am walking with God, it is really being a visionary. It's not like, oh, I fantasize and it's not real, it's not concrete, like it's not going to happen. But being a visionary meant it was going to happen. That whatever I dreamed of, it was going to happen. And yeah, I was blown away. Like all the things that I thought that were bad about myself, most specifically the part about being different, about not fitting in, was challenged and revolutionized in my mind. He literally showed me that the whole point of you not being able to fit in is because you're gonna bring change wherever you go. You are going to bring something unique and flavorful to the table that other people cannot. And if you are going to fit in all the time, how different are you? How different are you? What difference can you make if you are a replica of somebody? What difference can you make? You can't make any difference because you are not different. I think one thing people don't realize is that when they say they want to make a difference, they are really asking for something that is going to be life-changing, revolutionary. Because in order to create change, you have to be different. You have to be the change. You have to be unique. But a lot of times, okay, I'm just going to say society because it's just a general term that a lot of people understand. But society, the environment around us, always encourages us to be the same as everybody else. You have to be a certain standard. You have to meet that standard before you are good enough. But God flips it around. God's like, you are good enough. I have made you good enough, and you are different. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. And that was the same for me. I was shook because I always thought being different was bad. I always thought being unique was bad. I always thought being weird was bad. But no, he showed me such a different take on being different. And he brought back to my mind the dream that I always had, which is to create a media organization, to create some kind of empire. I don't know what you call it. And he told me, look, Cass, walk with me. Just continue to walk with me. And I'm going to bring you to the mountaintop. I am going to bring you to a place you can never reach yourself. You need me. And I'm going to be with you as you go. Choose to follow me. Choose to follow me. I must interject and say that God is not forceful. He gives you a choice. Choices are divine. You can have a choice. He's not going to force you to do anything. You have a choice to make. And he was giving me that choice that I can try to strive and do a lot of things and try to make my mark in this world, or I can follow him and still make a mark in this world and be incredibly blessed and be a blessing to other people. And he said, follow me and I'm going to bring you to the mountaintop, and you can't get there by yourself. Only I can bring you there. Only I can lead you there. And it sounded scary. I'm not gonna lie, it sounded very scary, but I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna follow you. I'm gonna really follow you, and you gotta help me. You gotta help me because, girl, I'm weak. I'm not strong, man. I am so not strong. I'm only strong in God. What do I want to say to all of you dreamers? Being different is not wrong. People will tell you being different is wrong. That is the reality. A lot of people will tell you that being different is wrong. They will tell you in many different ways. They will tell you through their body language, where they're completely ostracizing you, and they're like, you know what, you don't belong here. Maybe they'll tell you in your face that, look, man, I hate you, I don't like you, get out, you're weird. All these words that have been put upon you that tell you that you are rejected, that's also telling you that being different is wrong. And yeah, a lot of people are going to tell you that being different is wrong, especially when you're in a space where following the standard is the right thing to do. But today I want to challenge that notion, and I want to tell you that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. And being different is not wrong. It is not wrong. You are in the right place. You are unique. And whatever negativity that has been put on you, challenge that. Challenge those voices. Challenge your own voice. And ask yourself, who are you listening to? Is that voice qualified to tell you who you are? Just start on this self-exploration journey. Be open. Be open to the possibility that whatever you have known your entire life might not be truth. Might not be the full truth. Maybe it's partial truth. But partial truth is still not the truth. It's not the entire story. Who are you listening to? Whose voice has the most authority in your life? Thank you for tuning in, dreamers. This is part 1 of the video. I don't know what else I'm going to talk about, but I feel like this is not the end of the topic. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'll catch you in the next video.
You can't come, just run into your love, you gon' put the blood down. Yeah, 24/7 you ride.